Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our new Animal Kingdom Season 5 review. This season, it continues to move forward, but I gotta say, I kind of thought things would be moving forward a little bit faster.
Yeah, we're many episodes in now. I felt like this was really going to be a season of who's the new boss and where they're going to go with their sort of family business and doing heist themselves and sort of figuring out their footing. But it's really it has been very slow. It's been a lot slower than I thought. And I'm not saying that I dislike the season or anything like that, but it is slow. And this episode, very slow.
Yeah, it's like we get like a couple of developments by the time that we get to the end of it, but it is by the time that we get to the end of it. Like they really take their time. Though, granted, I will say this. There are a couple of moments in this episode that I am all about, that I am all in on, just because anytime you give me a bar fight, I will always enjoy a bar fight. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, things have been building up with the son of a beach down the road there from Darren's bar, but I just feel like this whole storyline, it's gotta be something more than what it is.
Yeah.
Like, if this is all it is we're now in Darren's day-to-day life working at the bar, then, they need to find something else going on here. It just can't be that. I feel in my gut that there is something else going on with that guy from the bar down the street. Either he's going to turn into some sort of love-hate interest, like love interest, or maybe he's been put there by Living's Good, like to watch over Darren. I'm not sure, but this can't be all there is.
I'm going with your latter theory. I think that this son of a beach guy is just he's son of a plant. Like, I think this guy is really there to watch over him. Or maybe this entire fight was some sort of front so that, like, I don't know, he could put a tracker or a bug somewhere in the bar. Like, I just like the bar fight. Listen, I'm a simple man. You give me a bar fight, you give me a heist, I watch, I enjoy.
Well, that's a thing that I think this season is really missing. Like, we are getting some heists from Smurf in the past,
Yeah.
but we are not really getting any movement from the Cody Boys now in the present. We had the big, plane one, which was pretty good with all the BMX bikes. That was really cool, but that feels like a million years ago. And then we had, of course, my favorite, the safe going out the window. But yeah, we're many episodes in now and not enough heist, not enough action. It's something that this show really gets set apart because it has all these sort of extreme sports and cool heists and stuff like that.
At the moment, the 3 best seconds of this entire season may be those 3 seconds the safe was going out the window.
Yeah. But before we get too much further into this video, if you are enjoying our Animal Kingdom videos, please hit that subscribe button and, tune in with us. Every Sunday night, we'll have up a review after the episode.
Also, if you want to check out some pictures of our Animal Kingdom, just head over to our Instagram at Matt and Jess TV. That's right, Coco. You are used for the Instagram placement. That happens. You're just taking a nap. You can go back to sleep now. It's okay.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the more interesting developments, which is everything that's going on with this cop that Jay has seemingly hired for a ridiculous amount of money. It's like $1,000 a week or something like that, or $2,000 a week now that Darren wants to know if there's going to be an arrest made for him.
I enjoyed some of this just because it was sort of like, okay, this is kind of how I feel like the crooked cop business is going to go. Like, you can't expect the crooked cop is going to be like, yeah, if I'm going to break the law, I'm going to break the law for more money, and I'm going to break the law again by extorting more money out of you by threatening various things.
Yeah, and he actually gave some information to them about Darren and sort of what is going on with Adrian, and a lot of this has been a fight about what has been going on with Adrian and why Darren didn't just take care of him. And Darren has even been questioning why he wasn't able to do it. And there was this really nice moment where Pope just turned to him and was just like, you're not that guy. You're not that guy. We're not all that guy. It's okay that you didn't do that. That's not you, and it's okay.
I like that moment a lot. Like, I really like... I don't necessarily like we took 3 episodes to get Pope to this point where he was just off wandering around, but I'm enjoying the Pope we have now. He's got a bigger spring in his step.
Yeah, so Darren has learned that somebody is sending money to Adrian, and we've kind of known this for a few episodes now, and I think we all assumed that it was probably Darren taking care of Adrian. He just didn't want to say anything. But he's looked into it, and it turns out that's actually Adrian's sister that's doing it. But because it's, circling around Darren, like, everybody's going to end up getting taken down for that. He did have a talk with the sister. The sister's like, are you threatening me? And Darren's like, I sure am.
Listen, okay, this scene was pretty good. But I got to say, like, almost every single show that has, like, some sort of character who's, like, in a desperate situation. It's like, they're always a nurse. Like, it always feels like it's some scene where they, like, go to the hospital and then they come out in a pair of scrubs or something and be like, oh, I'm just working these really long hours. I'm pulling double shifts. I'm trying to find a way to make things... It's like, that was a little bit predictable, but that scene... That conversation, it was good, and it made sense, and I think it was a very interesting sort of window into who's really caring for Adrian, how Adrian's sort of world feels about Darren. I mean, Adrian was willing to do anything for Darren, and this is sort of Darren's response to a lot of it. There's just a lot of emotional stuff wrapped up in that.
So the cop also got the files for all the Codys, and one of them is Baz's murder. So we haven't heard Baz's name in a really long time. We've heard his name a few times in this episode because not only did they get his file, but we also saw Baz's mother in the past for like a second with this heist that wasn't going right because Smurf just couldn't get Manny together. Manny was in a bad way because of Pete.
They've got to be doing something more with this Baz mythology. It's like you can't bring up Baz beyond the grave like multiple times in an episode for like the first time in a couple of seasons and then just blow right past it.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of trying to find a way to tie what's going on in the present with the past.
Yeah.
They've done that well here and there this season. Not everything has stuck the landing, but we did see that Smurf is talking to Baz's mom. So, I mean, something along there. Maybe we will still get that heist now that Manny's a little better. And something will happen to Baz's mom. There's got to be a reason why Smurf ends up caring for Baz.
That's probably where we're going right now. I sure hope so. I didn't need a Pete's Garage origin story in this episode.
I disagree.
Okay, all right.
I needed a Pete's Garage. I thought that was really kind of... It's nice because it does, again, tie to what's sort of going on now and how long that relationship has been going on for Jay and Darren to screw it up like so fast after Smurf has gone. I mean, we saw that Manny was having gambling problems. We had seen that for a while. Pete's guys have gone over and taken care of Manny, and this was how Smurf was able to develop a relationship with Pete. So she's gone over, there's Pete Jr., and she's had a conversation with them, paid off Manny's debts, and then kind of was like, what else do you sell at this shop? So it's the beginning of that. I did like that because it does tie into the present where it's kind of like, now that relationship is going down the toilet after all these years.
Listen, Pete Jr., Pete's Garage. Like, clearly you're in love with your own name, and that's more than fine. I do enjoy the stuff in the present. I think that stuff's obviously very, very important. Maybe I'm just salty about some of the Smurf flashbacks in general at this point, which is, understandable given how many of them we've had. But it's a situation where I feel like there's not one consistent story that's like bringing everything together. And I think that's my big sort of issue, because there's little moments that I like, but then it's like, okay, how does this tie into everything else? I I enjoyed Renn being like, bye to Craig, like nobody's business, because it just felt, you have been such a jerk to her for a very long time. You have made me get on board with Renn, and I did not care about Renn at all at the start of this season, Craig.
No, like, listen, I get where Craig is coming from, that now that he's a dad and he doesn't really know how to handle it, he wants at least one parent to be on the straight and narrow so that if the other parent gets taken to jail or dies or something, Nick still has a parent. Yeah. But that is not your choice, Craig, to make for Renn. If you want to have one parent that is just clean and no dirty hands, then you can choose that for yourself. You cannot choose that for another person. And Renn is clearly not having it. She's been dealing, she's been hiding it. Craig is now found out. There's a huge fight about it, and Renn has taken Nick and left. And it's about time. I mean, this is really like, it feels like this is something a bit deeper for Craig. Like, Craig is going through whatever type of midlife crisis he's going through. You know, his mom is gone, and I think it is affecting him now that he's had a kid, that now it's like, my parent is gone, and now I'm a parent. What should I be doing differently than what Smurf did? Okay, Smurf had all of us involved in the business. I don't want that for Nick. I need to have one parent that's not doing this because I'm already involved in the business, and I can't get out of it. It has to be Renn.
I understand mentally where he's coming from. I mean, some of that does make a whole lot of sense. You want your kid to have some element of normalcy, but I think Craig just doesn't seem to, and this is what I wonder if this story is just designed for him to just haunt himself with it time and time again, because it doesn't really matter what job Renn has. If you are still in it, congratulations, your kid is still in it too. You don't just get to be like, okay, everything is fine now because I've made Renn become a real estate agent or something else. It doesn't work that way. I don't know if we see Renn again this season or not, because you could sort of make the argument that this was the story and this is the punishment now, that Craig is just alone and he doesn't get to see his kid anymore.
It's going to be real interesting to see what happens to Craig, and I'm really hoping we are not going to see more of this midlife crisis, him jumping off the pier with a bunch of, like, high school people. Like, it's just, the story needs to kind of take a shift.
Yeah, we have made our feelings about Craig this season abundantly clear. We don't need any more of that.
All right, so we also got to talk about Jay, because one of the things that he's decided to do is try to take the reins a little bit. We did see that he was thinking about leaving after that giant fight that they all had. Pope has told him basically, you're going to stay or else. And so he's decided, okay, if he has to stay, then he's got to find a way to make this work for the whole family. He knows that Darren is not going to allow him to have his side hustles going on anymore. He has sold the condo. Now he's kind of working a bit with Pamela's granddaughter. There seems to be a little flirtation there where she's kind of like, do you ever smile? And he gives her the smile. So are they going to hook up? 100%. I see that coming down the pipeline.
Listen, I never need to see Jay smile again. That was terrifying. I'm just putting that out there.
But he's hired her on. He's asked her to find another attorney as well, so that they can have a sort of a criminal attorney as well, sort of this estate's attorneys to help with everything. He's really trying to make sure there are some sort of protections in place for all of them.
Yeah, I like the stuff with Jay in this episode. I kind of like the strategic planning that he does. I think he's obviously very smart, very calculated. Just the weirdness of him having a personal conversation is always interesting because you can tell he never knows what to do during it.
Yeah.
I also, speaking of weirdness, we've already talked about my love for closing shots on Animal Kingdom of just like characters just like wandering around. The footage of Pope just like skateboarding by himself alone at the world's loneliest skate park. It was so weird. It was also just like, are they going to show him like falling down and like wiping out at the end of this? Because listen, if I was on that skateboard for like 5 seconds, I would be dead right now. I kudos to either Sean or whatever stunt actor is doing this for not falling.
I really liked it. I like that Pope, now that he's done his journey, he's back, he's thrown out Smurf stuff. He's decided, he's like, I want to make my own choices. This was Smurf stuff. I want to redecorate for what I want and start to figure out who I am without Smurf. What does that look like? What does my choices look like? What is my decor going to look like? And him then deciding to get back to something that was just for him. Because, I mean, skateboarding is a very solitary sport. It is something you do by yourself. Like, yeah, there can be other skateboarders around, but it's not like you're going to have Smurf on the back of your skateboard, right? So him going back and taking that skateboard and going out on his own and just being like, I'm going to have this one thing that was just for me. And now that I've taken back sort of my room, I'm learning who I am, I've thrown out Smurf stuff, and now I'm just going to take another bit of time for myself.
I think it was good. I liked the solitary Pope stuff in this episode a lot. I will take this Pope over wandering around helping reunite the mother and a child Pope we had for the past few weeks.
No, I really like this Pope. This Pope has been on a journey. We saw him at the beginning of the season grieving, which was really good. The stuff back then was really great. Then, we saw him wandering around with this mother and kid he's like, here's your freedom, you're a fugitive in Canada or whatever, and he's gotten a postcard from I'm done with that. It's done. This where we are now with Pope, where he's moving on from Smurf and he's figuring out who he is as a man, as an adult, on his own without Smurf. I really like this.
I'm very happy with where we are right now, and hopefully we'll all be very happy with Animal Kingdom the rest of the way. Fingers crossed. But for now, let us know what you guys thought about this episode. What storyline are you enjoying? Are you all in on bar fights just like we are? Are you enjoying the Pete's Garage origin story? Let us know. And if you guys enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, give us a like. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you here next time.